The thought that materialism suffocates all natural emotions has been debated throughout American history. People would rather have things rather than true love. Are the rich even capable of falling in love?
No, they are not, and a classic in American literature proves this. We are talking about none other than the Great Gatsby.
The shattering relationship of Gatsby and Daisy has been apparent even in Chapter 1. To start off the novel, Fitzgerald mentions Gatsby gazing out across the bay looking at a single green light that belongs to the dock of Daisy Buchanan. The green light is one of the most important symbols in the book and represents the future Gatsby believes that him and Daisy will have. Gatsby is always reaching towards it, but he never gets any closer. Their future love is just something that cannot be grasped. This continuous race is like being on a treadmill. Gatsby keeps running, but he never gets anywhere. Therefore, Daisy and Gatsby's love doesn't flourish. Gatsby is so caught up in his idea of Daisy that he fails to see her for who she really is. Gatsby dreams up a romanticized version of Daisy, just as if she is some imaginary friend other than an actual living, breathing person. She's married, has a child, pleased with her lavish lifestyle, and is not the same girl she was 5 years ago. If you're the same person you are 5 years from now, you, my friend, have a serious problem on your hands. So basically, Gatsby is a nutcase, and even Nick sees it. He tells Gatsby that he cannot relive the past. Gatsby is shocked. He disregards Nick and makes a point of how much he has already accomplished. Gatsby graduated Oxford, has a mansion on West Egg, cars, a pool, a garden, butlers, waiters, cooks, fancy furniture, and extravagant parties with unlimited alcohol. He wants Daisy, so why can't he have her? Because anyone with common sense knows you can't buy love. It is not a material item that can merely be picked off a shelf and paid for at a register. For an educated man, Gatsby is nothing more than a cotton-headed ninny-muggins. Another instance of Gatsby and Daisy's unstable relationship is when Myrtle comes into the mix. Daisy is aware of her husband's disloyalty, but she doesn't leave him. No, instead she just gets rid of the problem. She actually kills Myrtle, runs her over like she's some squirrel in the middle of the road. Just roadkill. And she does this dirty deed in none other than Gatsby's car. She is using Gatsby. But the airheaded Gatsby agrees to take the blame for Daisy, and they continue home through the Valley of Ashes. Gatsby thinks that there will be no consequences for what had just occurred. Gatsby, have you been drunk during this entire relationship? The next afternoon, Gatsby is floating in his pool, eyes closed without a single care in the world. But then George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, shows up. I have an idea that Gatsby himself didn't believe it would come, and perhaps he no longer cared. If that was true, he must have felt that he had lost the old warm world, paid a high price for living too, along with a single dream. Gatsby has been living in a fantasy throughout his entire life. The bullet fired by George Wilson was reality. In essence, Wilson was not the one that murdered Gatsby. Daisy's manipulative attitude and Gatsby's refusal to give up the past, combined with their rich, have-it-all attitudes, are what ultimately led to his death. Daisy and Gatsby's relationship was doomed from the start. This proves that the obsession with wealth destroys all chances of love.
The dysfunctional relationship of the Buchanans has been apparent throughout the entire novel. Tom is a small-minded man, hiding under a large ego. His ego was created through money. And Daisy is absolutely infatuated with the idea of being rich. Her only love is money. In life, we normally believe people only have one love, right? Therefore showing that Daisy does not have the capability of loving another. Because she's already in love with Mulan. They believe they're right for each other because their main similarity is money. But from the very start, Daisy and Tom's crumbling marriage has been clear. It's blatantly obvious that Daisy is aware of Tom's mistress. The butler came back and murmured something close to Tom's ear, whereupon Tom frowned, pushed back his chair, and without a word went inside. As if his absence quickened something within her, Daisy leaned forward, her voice glowing and singing. Then suddenly she threw her napkin on the table and went into the house. Daisy is clearly upset about the mysterious mistress, Myrtle. But why is she upset? Is she really in love with Tom? No, she's in love with money. She's upset at the fact that Tom's mistress ruins her family's perfect image. And why does her family have a seemingly perfect image? Because Tom and Daisy Buchanan have money! So now, here comes the catch. Under all the fake happiness is actually a sad, sad life. I mean, Daisy and Tom have a child together. They have a little girl that is only mentioned about once or twice in the novel. I don't even remember her name. Daisy and Tom sure don't treat their little baby like a bundle of joy, that's for sure, but choose to ignore her instead, just like they ignore actual feelings for each other and focus on the material item.
Money.
So now the real question stands. When do people start to focus on wealth over true emotions?